So, MAGA meltdown has happened. Donald Trump and Elon Musk are officially divorced. All right, I had to talk about this today because it was nonstop. I actually caught probably when it really got heated up, I saw about an hour into it where everything just went off the rails with Elon and Donald Trump. I think it was kind of everybody was playing nice, and it was until Donald Trump kind of put it out there that Elon went crazy, and then everything just went off. There was no recovery. All right, we're going to take a couple look at different things. We're going to look at both of their social media pages because that's where it's been happening. And I mean, is it a joke? Is it all just is it really not actually happening? Are they pulling one on us? Are they fooling us? I sure hope so, but I don't think that is what is happening. Okay. All right. So what happened? Elon. So I don't know if a lot of things had just been bubbling up and then just hit a boiling point or what. Whenever the last day that Elon was out the White House and was being kind of dismissed, his time of service was over. It looked like things didn't look that pretty. Elon had that black eye. It was said to be messed around playing with his son. That's neither here nor there. But then I know people made a bigger deal than that, like what was actually behind that. And then now it's now Elon and Trump are just, for everyone to see what was happening behind closed doors is in front of everyone, and like I said, could they be in two separate rooms just tweeting at each other and really nothing is happening? Or is this the real deal? I did not see this I did not see this coming. Their whole coming together happened last year in about August, it seemed like, when they had their first kind of sit down and their talk and getting on together, and it seemed like we were seeing a relationship form. And I did not see at all this coming. And I know people out there were hoping for it, wanting it to happen, but let's see where it started derailing today. Because Elon started this. Because it was more, he doesn't want massive overspending, but I think there was something that was probably just more of an excuse. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking is more of an excuse. This is why it's tough. We're like the kids in the middle of a divorce. Which parent are we going to go with? Do we got to pick one? When it's I really like both of them, but it's do we have to pick a side? And I don't think we do. I think right now it's just whatever you say, it's going to turn out that you're going to say something you regret, in the heat of the moment. All right. So he's been going on. Elon, he tweets all the time anyways. It's his platform, but it started today. I think it really tailed off when this was the thing that set it off when this is when everything was too far gone to recover. When Elon brought in the Epstein files and said that Trump is actually hiding the files because he is on those files. Elon tweets, "Time to drop the really big bomb. At real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT." When I saw this probably an hour after it had went out, and I was just, what the hell just happened? I know people are giddy and it's fun, it's hilarious, but it's what actually happened behind scenes? Is it because Elon wanted him to be taken care of with Tesla? He wanted him with his businesses to be taken care of and to have some money coming in, and that's why he was reaching for what Donald Trump knew is way too much of an overreach? Is that what's going on? Because that's what people are saying, and people are making it seem like, and it's for good reason. It's for good reason, because let's actually jump over to see what Donald Trump tweeted today. He didn't really tweet it, he posted. So it's they both got their platforms. Trump's putting it on his platform. Elon's tweeting on his. This is what kind of set it all off. 8 hours ago, Trump tweeted, "Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do, and he just went crazy. So let's dissect this. I asked him to leave. What? It was his time to leave. He knew he wasn't going to be there he had 120 days he was going to be there to get Doge up and running. And it's like, Doge is just like, what's the point of it now? Like, he had all this pie in the sky. We're going to get everything under control. I'm just completely blown away that this is actually happening. Are these guys just acting impulsively and just saying stuff and not really thinking it through? It seems right now that Trump is the more reasonable person, because he was sitting back taking a lot of it, and Elon just blew the lid off when he brings up the Epstein. He's just like, seems like he's just writing something on the bathroom wall and just trying to smear Trump for some reason. Trump nobody gets along with him because he has to be right. It seems like whatever he says goes. And I mean, he's the president now, so yes, whatever he says goes. But it's like everybody, it seems like, that works with him ends up having a falling out. Always. It never lasts. It never lasts. And I guess it's like, because I don't really see Elon as alpha male, alpha dog like Trump. And it's in their relationship, it was more Trump was the alpha dude in the room, and Elon was cool with that. But what had been bubbling up for these first 3 months, they couldn't even, if they can't last together and if they can't keep a respectful relationship, I don't know who can. I don't know who can with Trump. It's like, I mean, people characterize Trump and make him a caricature of him. Like he's just a hothead. He's an egomaniac. And then, it does seem like nobody ever lasts in working with him. And that's why you're fired. And as a businessman, I get that, is because and that's why business overall can sometimes just take you off, because it's just a blemish. It's a black mark on our human race, in a sense, because it's just, you treat people like cogs and like parts. If you don't work, I'm going to throw you out. If you don't work, you're done. And it's like, that's what's made him. I guess that's what you have to do to be a businessman. I know I'm torn in this whole situation that is happening. It's just insane to me that is actually happening. And I don't know if it's beyond recovery. It would seem like it is. I don't see these guys coming back. Every relationship, it seems like, I say it over and over. Trump, nobody lasts with him. Nobody lasts with him. Everybody always ends up walking out or getting thrown out. And Elon was leaving on good terms. He'd done his job. Doge was put in place, implemented. It was definitely overpromised, underdelivered. But I mean, still hundreds of billions of dollars saved. That's not pennies. And this is not just he wanted, because there was a bloated bill that Trump and his administration is trying to push through. That, to me, it seems like that is just an excuse by Elon. It seems like that's an excuse. It was an excuse to blow up. Elon, I feel like he had to be the one that completely instigated and pushed this way over the edge. I mean, I know I did a video this morning about this, and I knew it was bad. I did not think it was this bad. I did not think it was going to go this way. But that's pretty much all. He tweeted that, and then they really got into it. Elon had been poking him all day long, and even before this, leading up to this, pushing against this whole bloated bill. But that had to have been just an excuse. It's just crazy. It's just insane to me. And then it was just back and forth all day long. The easiest way to save money in our budgets, is Trump tweeting, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. A little bit later, Trump tweeting or posting or truthing on his platform, I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. This is one of the greatest bills ever. presented to Congress. It's a record cut in expenses, $1.6 trillion, and it's the biggest tax cut ever given. If this bill doesn't pass, there will be a 68% tax increase and things far worse than that. I didn't create this mess. I'm here to fix it. This puts our country on a path of greatness. Make America great again. Trump is just he's got to push this through. There's no going back. He's got to get this done. He knows he's got it. He's just taking the pill that he knows he has to swallow and forcing it down, and because there's no going back. If they don't get this done, he knows it would go terrible. And then Elon went back and forth today, just dissing on Trump on everything, holding nothing back, just tearing on the Trump tariffs. I mean, the tariffs or whatever. I kind of agree with the overall vision of Trump, to make America great again. I agree with that, but and then you get into tactics and policy and how you go about doing it. There's been a few times that I've really kind of doubted the president. One was immediately after J6 and leading up to J6. Whenever that happened, I knew he was a hothead in everything that was building up, and everything that happened. That was just the fog of war that was happening. He was probably not thinking straight in a lot of ways. I don't think he did all the things that everybody made him out to be, but what hurt me the most, or what kind of disappointed me the most, was it felt like he kind of left his following out to dry, But there's probably so much behind the scenes that are more nuanced, and he has stood with them, but it just at that time. But then it's just overall it just seems like he's not able to keep everybody happy, because I think overall he wants to ram through what he wants to get done. And if you don't get on board, you can't stay on the plane kind of thing. You got to get out, and he will throw everyone out. I mean, there is such turnover. And I mean, this is the same deal with, these are just massive business minds. They think in a business mindset. They are thinking how to most efficiently run the ship. And the same with Elon. I remember when he was back at, when he was at Tesla, this is before he took on X, before he made it X. And the email to his employees, and just pushing them to just work them to the bone. And I guess that's what business people do. They work people to the bone. They want to make things so efficiently possible that they remove the human person in the whole structure of it. They want to automate everything to get people out so that they can make more money and have a better product, a better service, But it seems like overall these guys, maybe I had rose-colored glasses and thinking that they could keep it together. I really did not see this coming. I really did not see this coming at all. And then a lot of people just tweeting back at Elon and him just kind of yesing exactly, haha, and when he dropped the whole Epstein thing, I mean, there might be some there. I don't know. There's pictures with Trump and Epstein, but I mean, that whole thing, I mean, whenever everybody brought up about, did Epstein kill himself? It was all, Trump was asked that, and he just assumed, yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Well, I mean, everybody wants to just, if you're good, you're good. If you weren't at all in contact with him, you don't have anything to hide. People, then they're going to be screaming for blood, But everybody's got their skeletons. Everybody's got their skeletons, Everybody's got their things, and it's just, if you want to look at somebody else and say, oh, they got their problems, they're their issue, man, you got them as well. We all do. You can try to hide it and make everybody else think everybody else is terrible and you're all good. But so Elon saying that, bringing up the whole, this is people tweeting right here in 1992, Trump partied with Jeffrey Epstein. Just going to leave this here. Elon Musk replies with the emoji, the raised eyebrow. And that's kind of the where he is just heading with. He's going towards. There's no real substance. I wanted to believe, where people were saying, giving those tweets out there that, oh, they're just in two separate rooms and they're really just playing a goof on all of us. I think I wanted that to be true, but I don't think that is even in the vicinity of a possibility now. These guys are at each other's throats. They're going for blood. And you think Pence going against Trump was bad? You think anybody else, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, any other name that's out there going against Trump was bad? This is going to be that, like, so intensified, so on steroids. I think it was just, it was the shock factor of, I can't believe Elon and Trump are even getting along in the first place. I think that was just like, wow, we were living in an alternate universe. I think now we're coming back to a little bit of reality. This is reality for us, a little dose, a little taste of reality. Elon, so about that, what he said about let's terminate Elon's government subsidies. Is he going to be going at SpaceX? Elon fired back in light of the president's statements about cancellation of my government contracts at SpaceX. Will begin decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft immediately. And then the guy said, this is a shame. This is back and forth. You are both better than this. Cool off and take a step back for a couple of days. And then Elon said, okay, or he said, good advice. Okay, we won't decommission Dragon. Huh. Gosh. Elon's making it seem, Elon is going to be the one that's going to have to acquiesce. Trump is always wants to be friends with everybody. He wants everyone to like him. And he's good if you like him. He's good if you say good things about him. And Elon had been in more that submissive role. Yes, Mr. President. And even like him giving that massive diss today, he said, have a good day, Mr. D. You know, he tried to even keep it respectful there, you know, and Elon's got the hot head right now, but Elon's got the bigger reach. Elon's got the bigger reach. Trump has got the power, being the president, you know. But the presidency does not last forever. So, gosh, this is just insane. He's just tweeting all day, you know. I haven't been seeing Elon's tweets lately. You know, I don't look at really anybody that I follow. It seems like I stay on my For You page when I'm going through stuff. And I don't even touch Truth that much. I got an account, but I mean, I post stuff on there, but it's really hit or miss, you know. I go pretty much for news, which is sad with X, you know. I think it's going to overall turn out for the better, but this is just, hopefully they will, like I said today, they need to go on Rogan and do a podcast next week and just hash this out, just actually talk it. I mean, that might seem like a joke coming from somebody, but I mean, in all seriousness, do that. It's in the public arena now. It's not behind closed doors. You know, the Democrats, the left is going to just go for blood. They're going to bring everything at it. They're going to make this, it's going to be the news cycle until something breaks. It's going to be, that's all they're going to talk about, you know, and they're going to just try to put a deeper and bigger wedge between them. So it's like, go on to Rogan and talk this out. You know, this might seem like, oh, this is petty. No, this is a big deal. This is actually a legitimate big deal that these guys are doing this, you know? It might seem like a silliness and a joke, but like it makes for entertainment. It makes for entertainment, and I mean, I'm cool with that, but like the overall good of the country and the good of the next 4 years working and things getting done. I mean, policies are going to be put through. It just seems like there's just, like I said, I feel like I have rosy colored glasses that I'm wearing sometimes, especially when I think just living in this world and just the unthinkable happened, that Trump, Elon, and they come together, and now it's like dissolving before your very eyes. You know, it's just, it's insane. But it's like, where do we go from here? Overall, I think it's the only way we can do this is not to have sound bites, one person say one thing, one person say another, and it be thrown on CNN and MSNBC and Fox News, and just because people are going to bleed this dry, you know, they're going to suck, they're like vampires. They're going to suck everything out of it possible. I guess it was getting a little bit too boring. Even for Trump standards, it was getting a little bit too boring. He does not allow things to be boring for some reason. He will always catch you off guard, but it's like Trump didn't even start this. He did not even start this. There were things, he was probably just telling Elon no. I think Elon was just, his brand, his Tesla image had just gotten whacked in a huge way by people coming at him. And I think he wanted to solidify some probably government grants or something, you know, where They use Tesla or EV vehicles for governmental purposes. I don't know. And something was said no and a firm no to Elon. He was not happy going out the door. They made it seem all nice. They played nice. He leaves, and now Elon just let everything come out. Everything. Gosh. Says retard finder says you have to admit it. This is a effing retarded. This is effing retarded. And then it's talking about Steve Bannon on Bannon's show. Bannon is peak retard. Gosh. Because I think what Steve Bannon was actually saying today, he was saying something about, he was really going after Elon. Really going after Elon. And gosh, it's just vicious. Overall, Elon has a pin tweet now, and I replied to it, but I refused to vote in it. I refuse to vote in it. It says, is it time to create a new political party in America that actually represents the 80% in the middle? I like that attitude, but I would say no. I said dissolve the parties. The parties need to be completely thrown out. We do not need to have, I've said this over and over, it's the stupidest thing that we have Republican and Democrat. If you want to call everybody independent, even that, how about we just call us America, and people just vote on issues, vote on belief structures, and just that, as opposed to having teams set up. It doesn't work this way. It doesn't work this way because half the country, we're always against each other, nobody. And then the rational people that are in the middle are just in the middle sitting there, and nothing actually gets done. Nothing actually. But I mean, it is the great American experiment that we have, that the founders set up, that we actually have this thing going, that it has lasted this long, but really we are still like in infancy compared to other, world powers and nations that have lasted a lot longer. So maybe there is something to be said about it, but overall it's kind of stupid. I hope they make amends. I hope they come together, but we shall see. We'll end it at that. All right. Peace, everyone.